When I came off the show, all of the other presenters were there high-fiving me and screaming. Like it was like Hollywood. Literally, it was like Hollywood. I came off, I was so under pressure. I burst out crying. They're all screaming. All the like Americans, they were high-fiving, screaming, going, "Oh my God, this girl is a superstar." And we were like, we couldn't believe it.
The Architects of Business, with EY Entrepreneur of the Year, telling the inspirational stories behind Ireland's most successful entrepreneurs.
Hello and welcome to the Architects of Business, made in partnership with EY Entrepreneur of the Year, where you will hear the inspirational stories of some of Ireland's most successful entrepreneurs. I'm Sonia Lennon, broadcasting remotely from my home at this time. And on this week's show, I chat with Sonia DC, the founder of Pestle & Mortar, an Irish skincare company which has gone global at high speed. Herself and her husband had to ask themselves one question: can we launch a skincare brand with just one product? If you haven't already done so, click subscribe to get new shows directly into your feed. Sonia DC, founder of Pestle & Mortar, thank you so much for joining me today on Architects of Business. I'm always very excited when a female entrepreneur comes onto the show because it's a bit of a go-girls situation. Your story, I've heard it before. I've been privileged to be in a very exclusive room hearing your incredible story before, and it never gets old because it's pretty much a soap opera except with serum. And your backgrounds, your great grandfather or your grandfather in India, kind of sowed the seeds for what you're doing now.
He did, Sonia. So my my grandfather, he was the medicine man in India, in Hisharpur, in a village where my father grew up. But my uncle, so my dad's brother, he still practices medicine in the same spot that my grandfather did in India. So natural healing goes back in my family over 100 years. So
And I can't keep talking to you without commenting on your environment. You look like you're in the equivalent of sort of NASA of skincare. Where are you coming to from right now?
So from our offices in Kildare, in Nace, so the background is our showroom. So this is an example behind me of how our products can look in a retail store.
It's amazing. It looks so good. It nearly looks fake, and I mean that with love.
My husband is a portrait photographer, so
And
everything.
we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So tell us then, when did your family move to Ireland?
So my parents are in Ireland over, my eldest brother is 50, so 55 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And the go-to profession, obviously limited desire for medicine men in Kildare. What did your father do?
Well, my father he studied engineering in India, but he had a fashion retail store. So it was more like a general drapery store where he would have been the only store in Kildare that you could get branded goods, anything from Playtex bras to Clark's shoes.
Cutting edge.
Yes.
It was at the time.
Levi's jeans and Doc Martens. Yeah.
Okay, you have me now, Sonia.
Yeah.
You have me now. I was that girl. And I get the impression that when you made your college choices, that you were very much shepherded in that direction.
Well, my father wanted me to be a teacher. So the compromise then was, I said, okay, well, I will do an arts degree because I'm not too sure if I want to do teaching. So I studied philosophy and history in German in UCD, and then I didn't go into teaching. But
I can see that.
but he didn't mind after that. So he said, once you have a foundation of an education, if everything else fails, at least you have something that you can fall back on. That was his philosophy.
And so how soon after college did you meet your husband?
Oh, so my husband grew up, I've got four brothers and one sister. So my husband grew up in the same town as myself. His parents had a family business literally across the road from my parents. And he was and still is one of my brother's best friends. So I've known him my whole life, but we kind of got together late when we were 26 and got married 11 months later and had our first child 11 months after that.
Well, I think when people hear your full story of your success, you're not one to hang about, so that doesn't surprise me. But your husband had his own photography business.
He did. So he's a portrait photographer. So his business as well was second. It was multi-generational. So his dad was a photographer in the town, and he took over the business. And when we got married, I was working in my own family business, which was I was a fashion buyer. So I was traveling all around the world buying fashion, and he asked me to join his family business. So I was working with my siblings, and they weren't very happy about it. They said, okay, if this is what you want to do, you make the decision. We're not going to stop you. So I sat down with my husband, and at this time in his family business, his parents were still involved in the business. So our plan was that we would buy out his parents and allow them to retire when they were 53. And
Nice.
yeah, allow them to retire and take over the business, and that's what we did. We ran our portrait studio, and when the recession hit, our business got hit really badly because we weren't we didn't do wedding photography, so it was a pure luxury. The service we were offering was complete luxury, so it was high end portrait photography. And our customers were families like your own or mine with young kids. So they got hit the worst in the recession. So our business, when the recession hit, our business pretty much fell. We lost, I would say, 60% of our turnover. So here we were running a portrait studio in Newbridge, husband and wife, eating out of the same pot with five children. So
You paint
um,
an unpretty.
So we had started dipping our toe into education. I would say probably 2 years before the recession hit, and it kind of very quickly moved into a big part of our business. So while we were educating and traveling around the world, particularly in America, um, I saw a different side to the photography business that I'd never seen before, which was commercial photography. So we never did fashion shoots or all that glitz and glamour. We never had models in the studio. So I never saw makeup artists working with models' skin or prepping their skin. But at these conferences, I saw all of that happening. So I used to sit behind the scenes watching the makeup artist prepping the model's skin, and I was fascinated. So I take a look behind the photographer's lens and see, oh my God, their skin looks amazing. And then I started thinking, what products are they using? Why does their skin look so good? Because I'm looking at the model now and her skin really doesn't look that good. And what if I had a product that I could give the mothers that have had so little sleep coming into me and make their skin look amazing, glowing, dewy, full of life, and youthful. And that's what I was thinking. So I got chatting to the makeup artists, and they were showing me their products, and they were all using products with hyaluronic acid in them. And I'd never heard of hyaluronic acid in my life. So I have a sister, and she studied biochemistry, and I called her and I asked her about hyaluronic acid. So I'm very much black or white. So I said, does it work or doesn't it work? And she said, yeah, it does work. It's naturally present in our bodies, and it's a proven ingredient. It's actually been around for years. I don't know why you're asking me about this. And I said, look, I've seen this work. So, like, look at our own skin. Yeah, surely our skin can look better. Have you ever used a cream with this in it? And she said, no. So I went and I bought every single product I could find with hyaluronic acid in it. Like, I spent thousands. So everyone thought I was insane. So spent thousands. And the one conclusion I came to was no matter how much I spent, whether it was 500, 300, or €20, I didn't like any of them. And there was one outstanding factor in all of them. They were all sticky and tacky, and they felt awful on my skin. So that was the
So
first.
I love the sense that, first of all, that your ability to connect with people and to extract really valuable information from people has been a trademark of every decision you've made. So, Sonia, you have spent your savings on every hyaluronic acid product there is, and you hate them all. Um, what does a girl with your background do from there?
So I set about creating my own one. So with
Of
the
course
help
you
of my
did.
sister, yeah, with the help of my sister, I did my research and we created our first product. So obviously Porrick designed the packaging, and we knew it's going to be black and white. It's going to be minimalistic. It has to look luxurious. So that's how we started.
And did you know at that stage how important it was where you positioned yourself in the market?
we we didn't do much market research in regards as we like apart from what I already knew. Like, of course, I love shopping. I know about luxury items. I understand I knew we weren't going to be creme de la mer price, so we were looking at somewhere in the middle at affordable luxury. So we needed our packaging and our branding to reflect that, and we knew that.
And when you started, how clear was the vision for what it could be?
We knew there was we when we started, we had one product, and we said to ourselves, we had started Seamless Photo with 300 SKUs, and we knew how difficult it was to market 300 individual products. We knew we were pretty okay at marketing, the two of us. We knew we could do a good job at marketing, and that was always our core strength. So we said to ourselves, what if we had a brand, a skincare brand that had just one product? How well we used to dream about, oh my God, we could market it so well. We could do this, we could do that. And all of our time is just spent on one single product. We can get the copy right, get the photography right, push it out everywhere. That was what we dreamed of.
This brand new product that is going to shake up the marketplace in so many ways. What does one do first?
So the first thing we did was, I have a friend, an old school friend who has a PR company in Newbridge. So I rang her and I said, look, I have this beauty product. And she said, oh my God, you have what? When did you do this? Because we didn't tell anyone about it, because I told one person about it and they completely knocked me down straight away and said, oh, if you think you are going to get into Brown Thomas or Arnott's, you've got another thing coming to you. You're going to be banging down their doors. And I said, well, who said I wanted to get into Brown Thomas or Arnott's? So people, some people, that's the nature of people. Some people are like
And
that.
I
They just
think
knock you down.
that's actually the entrepreneur's gift, is to be able to rise above that kind of negativity
Hmm.
and stay firm to the vision of what they can see in the future. So what was the
Yes.
PR plan to launch the
So
product?
the PR plan was, okay, Ireland is quite a small market PR wise. So I'll give you a list of the 30 top editors and beauty writers in Ireland, and you send them a product. And that's what we did. So she gave me the list, and we sent out by courier one product to everyone with a press release. And that was it. So sometimes people say, there was a bit of luck involved. I think that we didn't know that there was no hyaluronic serum on the market in Ireland that was priced at our price is €43. We didn't know that it was just about to become really popular here, and we happened to be on the very first ones with that type of product. Subsequently, over the last 5 years, there's a lot of products that have come out after us, but we were one of the first.
And had you not seen that gap through your your shopping explosion where you bought all the products?
No, I didn't see that, Sonia, but what I wanted to create was a product that was not sticky or tacky, a product that I couldn't find out on the marketplace when I did my research. So I was I was blinded by that. My only focus was to create a product that was effective and worked and absolutely luxurious to use at a certain price point, and nothing else mattered to me. I didn't care. I couldn't find it. So in my own mind, that product didn't exist.
There's a lovely purity about that in terms of, and it's so true, if the product is right, everything falls out of that. So you must have known when that landed with such a bang. And presumably the column inches followed and the coverage followed, and all of a sudden people were hearing about pestle and mortar. And in fact, I remember that. I remember it really well, that it was an explosion, brand new product, and there's no doubt about it that the level of packaging and positioning really supported the desire for your product.
The moment we knew was when we launched the first week. We appeared on Expose TV, the TV program, which is no longer, but we got I think it was a 60-minute mention, and it was literally just a picture of the serum and our web address, new product launch. Um, and we had we had our website set up and the payment gates, and it all worked. And immediately we started getting sales. So if anybody has experience with online businesses, it's not easy to get your product to sell online. But back then it wasn't anyway. So it's just not easy. And we knew with Seamless Photo that was an online business, what it took to get sales. And here we were sitting in our living room, and our product appeared on TV for 60 seconds, and our phones, they did not stop pinging. Like the sales just kept on coming in. And we were sitting there going, oh my God, oh my God. And the kids were like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So, sorry. So at that point, then we knew.
You knew you had a hit. And I guess, the two of you must also have known that if you were able to launch with such a bang in Ireland, that opportunities also existed outside the island.
So immediately then, within the first week, we got a call from Liberty in London. And I flew over and I met the buyers, and I met them in the cafe. And here was me in Liberty in London. I didn't, I couldn't believe it. They were selling Liberty to me, selling their heritage. And, I think your brand is really well positioned, and really, would you consider stocking, allowing us to sell your product? I was going,
sure.
Well, sure.
Why not?
Yeah. So, and then from there, we went to New York. We appeared on QVC, USA.
So what happened? You have to tell us that, because that is such an extraordinary story.
So myself and my husband had, our marketing plan was, let's get on to QVC USA, because they have millions, and 400 million is their audience. So imagine 400 million people looking at our product. Like, it's free marketing, it's free advertising. And that was our idea. Yeah. So I don't think any other Irish brand had been on QVC USA main channel ever before. So here we were. We called them, sent our product in, and they said, yeah. They replied and said, yeah, we love your product. We love your story. We sent a video of the story. We love your story. Can you fly over and meet us in our head offices in Philadelphia? So we
said,
sure. So we flew over. myself and my husband flew over for the meeting, and we were in the room and we thought, oh, they're going to say, like, literally, we had only launched the brand like 6 months, and we thought they're going to say, yeah, come back in 3 years when you've more products, and or and in that room they said, yeah, absolutely, we want to have you on TV. From the day they said yes, it took 18 months to actually get on it. um, and at that point, we had three products, and they picked our most expensive product, which is our retinol night oil, our superstar. And it retailed at $109 in America. And I went on for 7 minutes and we sold out. And less than 1% of new brands sell out on QVC the first time they appear. So we were the highest grossing sales per minute that night, which was extraordinary. When I came off the show, all of the other presenters were there high-fiving me and screaming. Like, it was like Hollywood. Literally, it was like Hollywood. I came off, I was so under pressure, I burst out crying. They're all screaming. All the like Americans, they were high-fiving, screaming, going, oh my God, this girl is a superstar. And we were like, we couldn't believe it. Yeah. So it was extraordinary. So from there, we got into, we're stocked in all the Bloomingdales, we're stocked in Neiman Marcus online, Anthropology, Face Gym. So
And what was the next move then? Because you're chunking out global domination at this stage, and I've seen I can't, maybe a year ago, a beautiful display. Zalando, the online store, have
yes,
a physical store in Berlin,
yes.
and walking into that physical store and seeing the prominence of your brand, I felt a groundswell of pride as an Irish woman, going, look what they've done. I can only imagine how you felt. But I suppose, what do you do after QVC to get that hit?
So after QVC, then we started focusing on relationships with distributors. So we really now we're focused on the Chinese and Asian market. It took us 2 years to find the right distributor to work with. So for the last 2 years, we spent literally traveling all around the world, like literally Australia 3 times, China 8 times, Dubai 6 times, and that's just to meet with distributors. So we spent 2 years doing due diligence. So we could have just gone with anyone, and we could be, we could be doing huge numbers and huge volumes now. But we decided that we would take our time, do the due diligence on who we want to work with, and grow the brand at a steady and slow, not a slow pace, but a steady and manageable
Pace.
Yes. So we have no investment, we've got no company debt, we don't owe the banks anything. So we made that decision quite early on, and that was the way that we wanted to run the business. So
What a beautiful thing. Well, it's a very rare thing to be in the position that you're in. And in fact, we had Dan and Linda Kiley from Vox Pro, who actually sold their business late last year, who
yes.
found themselves in that position. And it was hard won. And holding on to that was one of their key goals as they grew their business. So it's absolutely fantastic. But I suppose we can't talk about consumption without addressing COVID-19 and how that has impacted your business.
So I suppose the day the government announced the schools were closing and then the stores closed, we just thought, oh my goodness. So immediately we lost all of our wholesale business in Ireland. So
And what percentage of your overall business would that have been?
So that would have been 50% of our business.
Wow.
Yeah. But we didn't lose it. So we gained every single bit of it online. So thank God.
So this might sound like a really stupid question, but why? Why all of a sudden did your online presence explode to fill the gaps of the retail presence?
So I think the reason for it is that we have such a loyal customer following in Ireland that our customers, if they couldn't buy it in store, they came to our online store to buy it.
And do you think at the same time there are emerging trends around how women approach skincare?
Definitely. Definitely. I think that our brand is so well positioned now in today's world for the woman that is working at home that may not want to wear a full face of makeup every day, but they still want their skin to look good. So, with using our products consistently, you can have that. Your skin can look good, and you don't have to pile on makeup. So, our philosophy is less is more. So, I prefer less makeup and I prefer to look after my skin. And I think that definitely people are, and especially women, are with lockdown, they have had time to have so many makeup free days and discover that, okay, I don't need to cover up my skin as much as I did. And I can have good looking skin if I look after it.
You are one of the alumni of EY's Entrepreneur of the Year program. Um, what sort of value, because obviously you're giving huge value to your customer, what sort of value are you able to exchange among that network? What's the power of it to Pestle Mortar?
I think for me, as a younger, smaller business, I mean, the businesses that are the alumni in EY, some of the businesses they're just so big, and the experience that these people have is unbelievable. And I can tap into their knowledge and ask any of them any questions at any time. And they don't want anything back for giving me that knowledge. So I mean, I think it's brilliant. I've learned so much from a lot of people in there already, and I've so much to learn. So I'm just gutted that we didn't get to do the trip this year in May. But
There'll be other trips. I'm taken as you're sitting there by the power of your design, and the power of your product. Have you seen a rise in men being interested in skincare?
definitely. So, especially for our brand, it's monochromatic, it's black and white, it doesn't look too female. Um, Liberty in London, they actually told us that mostly it's men that buy our product in their store, which is
That's
surprising.
extraordinary.
Yes.
And it's funny because I know certainly in textiles and clothing, up until COVID, the rate of increase in sales in menswear was more than double that in women's wear. I think it's a really interesting market to enter into, because I think men are changing their habits completely. And I think the idea that men and women in Ireland and all across the world could be sitting on Zoom calls with glowing skin supported by Pestle and Mortar is a lovely idea. Sonia, my namesake, so nice to have you on Architects of Business today, and so wonderful to hear your story. We wish you continued success.
Thanks very much, Sonia.
Thanks for listening and watching the Architects of Business, made in partnership with EY Entrepreneur of the Year. Thanks to the whole team here at Joe, and of course to our entrepreneur today, Sonia DC. If you haven't already done so, click subscribe to get brand new shows directly into your feed.